Hey everyone, how are you? Long time no see. I hope you're all doing really well. Welcome to my immigration series. This video is on immigration disadvantages, and so it will give you a summary of all the disadvantages for immigration. So let's go. So let's get started. The first disadvantage is that migrants will be exploited. Now, unfortunately, because immigration statuses in Japan are not very clear, many people are actually exploited by overwork and they endure harsh conditions during work because there are no guidelines to their working rights. Someone else that feels a force is actually international students. Now, a recent study by the Japan Times showed that among all categories of foreign workers, students were actually increasing. So before in 2015, 168,000 students worked. And now in 2016, so last year, 210,000 students were working. Now, students actually make up 1 out of 5 of all foreign workers. So that's a big amount. Now, this begs the question, why are students seen as foreign workers? Considering that Japan does not have a work visa for immigrants, is there really any other way for them to come and work in Japan? Now, the second point is pressure on government services. If there are more immigrants coming into Japan, there will be an increase in labor and residents in Japan, and then it will add to the use of services such as hospitals, schools, civil offices, and social welfare. Many people may not be proficient in Japanese, so they may not be able to understand or read Japanese. So Japan will have to translate everything and make everything language friendly for people from all over the world. And this will be very time consuming and cost a lot of money for Japan. Furthermore, Japan is already struggling with admissions in child daycare. With an increase in immigrants, will Japan be able to handle the influx of more children who may also need language support too? So it really begs the question, if there is an increase in immigrants, many of them will have a lot of children. Now, Japan has a declining birth rate, and even still, they still have lots of children on the waiting list. So if there's more immigrants coming in, will Japan be able to cope? The third point is that there will be a rise in unemployability. Now, if there are too many workers coming to Japan, there will be way too many workers compared to job openings, meaning that there could be 5 people after one job. This will mean that there will be a lot more competition, good for companies, bad for population, as this will lead to a rise in unemployability and will cause people to rely on social welfare services from the government. If welfare services are not enough to live on, people may resort to using illegal ways to make money. This will cause trouble for citizens, government, and the country as a whole. Fourth reason, which I actually sort of touched on in the second point, is language barriers and misunderstandings. The language barriers are one of the greatest hurdles Japan faces when welcoming immigrants. Miscommunication and the inability to share feelings, emotions, and give simple explanations can really damage relationships. Also, there will be a big difference in culture and traditions. This may cause misunderstandings and start some disputes. This then causes people to basically grow certain areas where they are high in their own ethnicity. So places such as Chinatown, Koreatown, and Little India may form within a city. While these formations of the area are not bad, they do prevent and will separate people and prevent integration. So maybe Chinese people will stay together, they won't mix with Japanese people, and people from other backgrounds and other cultures may have their own groups, and they will only speak their languages in those groups and not talk in Japanese or may not learn Japanese because they don't need to. Okay, to summarize, if immigration is increased, it may greatly hinder Japan in many ways. by the exploitation of foreign workers and their living conditions. It may strain the government because they'll need to spend more money on things like education, on hospitals and social welfare. It will also increase unemployability. There might be too many people and not enough jobs, which will cause unemployability and cause more people to use social welfare. There'll be many language barriers and maybe cultural misunderstandings which happen. So if people haven't learned Japanese or don't know about Japanese culture, or maybe Japanese people don't know their culture, that will definitely cause misunderstandings. So all these things have just some potential disadvantages. Potential being that if there is too much of it, it might be troublesome for Japan, but they can also bring many good things as well. So this is what further immigration can have on Japan. There might be other disadvantages as well, but I think you guys can all research and you probably know some different ones as well. So that's the end of my video. I hope you guys all enjoyed. Really good luck with the rest of the year. Take care. See you.